And we continue at 2:06 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
Robert writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Subject line, Kamala prediction. Guys, I'm predicting it now. Kamala is saving all of her grievances for her own podcast that she will launch this or next year, like every politician who wants to stay relevant. I mean, it's working so well for Gavin Newsom and Pamela Price, improving their image.
She called me a crime boss.
800-222-5222 is your telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to more calls coming up later on in the program. But first, there is a wild story out of San Francisco about one crazy bum terrorizing an entire building.
And it's been going on for 5 years. This man literally lives in a box that looks like a coffin, comes out wielding a scooter, and smashes up windows.
That had to be 5 very long years.
For more on exactly what is being done about this man in a box, here is ABC 7 in the Bay Area and their incredible reporter, Leanne Melendez.
Having tents on the streets of San Francisco, practically a thing of the past. Things have improved dramatically, but that does not mean that the homeless situation has actually improved that much. The mayor said there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, but how much longer are people in San Francisco willing to wait? For one building owner, it's been nearly 5 years and counting.
ABC 7.
We can't do something about one guy?
Can you imagine working in that building and having some feral animal harassing you every day?
How much has this one guy cost, not only that business, but the city, in every single thing that's had to do with it? And how is that cheaper than not just putting this guy in prison?
ABC 7 News building a better Bay Area reporter Leanne Melendez here now with one specific case of a man who lives in a box.
Not delivered by Amazon.
Of a man who lives in a box, in a cardboard box, and is now refusing to leave and has been refusing.
Right. This is not your typical box, actually. We saw it, and actually it resembles like something that you would put a body in.
It's Dracula in San Francisco, everybody.
You know, The Undertaker used to have casket matches.
You know, It's just very bizarre. So people in San Francisco complain that things really aren't getting all that better, at least not fast enough. Instead, what they are seeing are those using drugs and with mental health issues being pushed from one block to the next and from neighborhood to neighborhood. There are exceptions. A man named Ricky.
This is not what the neighborhood wants, right?
Norman Wheel has a problem. His building is surrounded by pristine high-rises near 2nd and Howard Streets. He admits his is an eyesore.
Uh-oh.
We never had to board up our building before. This has now been boarded up for, what, a couple years?
Okay, if the owner admits it's an eyesore, can you imagine?
The first floor of this building in San Francisco does not have windows anymore. It's all boards, and it's been that way for years.
Thank God this bum wasn't a pitcher in high school, or he'd be able to hit the second floor, too.
All of the windows on the street level have been broken, and inside, some of the doors and walls have been bashed in.
He sounds like a pleasant person.
They discharged the fire extinguisher all over the place.
They is actually believed to be just one person. First name, Ricky.
Wait, Ricky went in, smashed all the windows, pushed in the doors, and then sprayed the fire extinguisher everywhere, and none of that's a crime?
Those are crimes associated with poverty, Randy.
Who lives outside of the building in a box. In a
Totally
box.
normal thing.
This guy's been here since the pandemic.
When you search the address 595 Howard Street on Google Maps, Ricky's cardboard box is visible.
Even the Google Map car has spotted Ricky in the box.
So is he. Matt Wolf is the real estate broker for the building.
Yeah, nobody's buying this building.
He's got the toughest job in the state.
Matt Wolf is the real estate broker for the building.
And it's just not good. It hurts our ability in this challenging leasing market to lease this building. I've seen him harming himself as well. So it's just a bad situation for him, for us, for the city.
He's threatened to kill me and rape me many times.
Whoa!
That's not very polite.
Some tenants who rent commercial space here told us they have been harassed numerous times.
They better be getting a discount on the rent.
I think I would just stop paying.
Some tenants won't talk to us. They're afraid of him.
Yeah, he's very violent.
Really?
Yes.
Has he ever physically harmed you or?
No, but he threatened to. He has a scooter that he wields as a weapon.
What?
Crimes associated with poverty.
How do you wield the scooter as a weapon? Like upside down, so you're holding the handlebars and the neck, and then the part where your feet go, you just smash that into things?
Yeah, I think he just swings it around.
So it's not a scooter this size, but a smaller blade, like a chuck. He swings it around. He bangs everything. He's, constantly high.
He uses it like the scythe of the Grim Reaper.
I love that all of these descriptions are consistent with one another, and still the city has done nothing.
Constantly screaming, shooting up in front of everybody. It's pretty sad.
At this point, you're probably wondering, where are the police in all of this?
Yes, we are wondering that.
The police
All of us.
The police came. They found him inside our building. Inside, okay? Nothing. Oh, they came and they took him away. He's back here 2 hours later.
We reached out to police, but were never given an answer.
Have you approached him and asked him to leave?
I have. He had some nice profanities for me.
That seems on brand.
Yeah.
We thought we'd give Ricky a chance to speak his mind.
Oh, no, Leanne, don't do it.
Here we go. Buckle up, kids.
Wait, is she knocking on the box?
It sounds like it.
Hey, Ricky?
I hope she has armed security with her.
She is a very, very, very brave reporter.
Hey, Ricky? Hi. How are you? My name is Leanne Melendez. I'm with ABC News. Do you have a minute to talk to us? Okay. Do you want to stand up or sit up for me, or do you mind?
He's just going to lay on the box, Leanne.
He's tired.
Thrashing that scooter all over the place tires you out.
Well, that would wear me out.
There's also the fentanyl and the meth.
Sorry to wake you.
I know you had a busy morning.
Sorry.
Even with all the successes we've seen from Lurie in the past 6 months, this is so beyond unacceptable. And you can't put it all on him because this has been going on for 5 years. But how can you not deal with this one guy?
This seems like it should be an easy putt.
Sorry to wake you. The building owner here has complained about you. And I just wanted to ask you, how long have you been out here? Huh? Not that long?
Wait, since the pandemic, correct?
Yes.
That started in 2020?
Yes.
It's 2025.
That's not that long.
He has said you've broken windows. No?
By the way, she's great at translating him because it just sounds like he's grumbling.
I have no clue what this man is saying.
Broken windows.
This is a feral animal.
Pretty much.
But damaged property? No damaged property, you say?
So he's just denying everything.
I'm not sure he's sure where he is or who he is.
Maybe he can get that woman in Fallbrook to defend him.
It was pretty clear that he was not able to make much conversation. We were instead concerned about his constant itching and scratching.
Oh, no.
Been a while since you've had a bath there, Ricky?
Okay. Just how long did Leanne have to shower after this meeting?
I would burn my clothes.
By the way, if he's doing itching and scratching, that means a whole lot of things, probably trank too.
This is a person who admittedly has been approached by outreach teams offering help.
The totality of it is that everybody's sympathetic, everybody's frustrated, but nobody does anything.
The supervisor for that district told us he's now studying a program used in a suburban county near Richmond, Virginia, that offers drug treatment to county jail inmates.
Isn't that a novel concept?
Supervisor Matt Dorsey would like to see a drug-free sidewalk ordinance in San Francisco.
Wait, you need that?
5 years this guy has been there, and they want to study this.
But we need an ordinance to say you can't do drugs on the streets? That's not already against the law and something that we can do something about? Something that Prop 36 was supposed to enable us to do something about?
If I'm the councilman representing that district, I'm finding a way to get this guy deported to El Salvador, too.
Supervisor Matt Dorsey would like to see a drug-free sidewalk ordinance in San Francisco.
It is not helping our economy. It isn't helping our business. It's not helping our residents. But least of all, it's not helping anybody who's on the street struggling with an addiction.
Meanwhile, Norman Wheel's frustration grows as he realizes he's running out of options to remove Ricky.
No one's buying this building if Ricky's there.
No, and your life is miserable with Ricky outside on the sidewalk.
What would happen if you removed that box when he's not here?
It's happened. He gets another box.
Well, you need to remove the box with Ricky in it.
By the way, Ricky occasionally leaves his box with his scooter in hand. Where he goes is anyone's guess.
The city's...
Well, you got to get the meth to bring it back to the box.
Yeah, you can't use DoorDash for that.
The city's thrown billions of dollars at this problem, and yet a guy's allowed to be out here for almost 5 years.
You know, so many people look at the homeless issue on a macro level and look at these numbers and what do we do? How do you figure out this one guy who's been terrorizing a building for half a decade?
And no one can do anything about it.
And nobody can do anything? Something's not right.
So it's hard to tell this story without seeing it for yourself. So we decided to send Mayor Lurie our edited story, the same story you just watched. So we asked for a statement from his office. Lurie responded, acknowledging that this is an overall crisis. That's why he says his administration changed the way outreach teams were working.
Yeah, but what about Ricky?
Yeah, I'm sure the outreach teams gave Ricky plenty of Narcan. Ricky doesn't need Narcan. Ricky needs a little push.
He says there's more collaboration now. Adding hundreds of beds with real treatment options will help, he says, get more people on the path to stability.
Can we put Ricky in one of those beds?
Well, is it shaped like a coffin?
Our success in that work, he adds, is critical. So we're going to stay with this story because that person needs help.
How does this get resolved?
So...
Okay, I know this is going to sound insensitive. At this point, I don't care about helping Ricky. I think Ricky's brains are fried, and I think Ricky is beyond help. So helping Ricky on my list of priorities is not number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100, 200, 500, 1,000.
I don't know when we got to the point where we ignore all of the damage and the crimes caused by this one person because, well, he's homeless and he's on drugs and he doesn't know what he's doing.
This is the problem, though. People look at this story and the first question they ask is, what do we do for Ricky? The first question you ask should be, how do we make Ricky disappear? How do we send him to the funny farm, put him in prison, send him back to Ohio? Whatever you have to do, just make him not be there.
Get a dolly, take that cardboard box, put it in a shipping container at the Port of Oakland, and so long, bon voyage.
There you go.
We don't know if he has relatives. We don't know if he has somebody who can intervene for him. We don't know. And that's one of the things that is needed.
Where's Gavin's Care Court? Wasn't this supposed to conserve the people that can't handle themselves? Oh, that's right. That program's useless because it's voluntary.
And I'm sure Gavin's PR team would immediately say, this is not a state issue. This is a local issue. Talk to them.
Is he?
To intervene for this person.
Right.
But the reason, he can say no all he wants.
Right.
And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Or at least that's the approach we've taken so far.
Once they solve that problem or issue, I think we're going to go, a long way.
It's conservatorship and saying
exactly
you can't take care of yourself, you're a risk to yourself and others, and you're going to come with us.
When is your decision not true will?
Yeah,
Right.
And that's
Thanks,
a slippery slope.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Leanne.
There's a real opportunity here for Lurie because this story, like a lot of Leanne's stories, is getting a lot of views and it's going everywhere. Let's see some real results, I don't know, within a week that you get Ricky out of there.
Here is the reason that they don't want to arrest Ricky, in my opinion. Ricky is totally nuts. So he belongs in a mental institution. We don't have those anymore. Ricky breaks the law right and left. You can arrest him and throw him in jail or prison whenever you want because he is breaking the law obviously and brazenly. They don't want to do it because they know who else is in prison. If you throw Ricky in prison and he behaves like that around a bunch of gang members and murderers and badasses, they will beat him to death inside the prison because you have a murderer or a gang member who wants to just sleep, and you have Ricky who wants to swing a bicycle at him or do whatever it is that he's going to do in prison. They won't put up with that in prison. And they're not going to call a councilman, and they're not going to write a letter to a reporter, and they're not going to take those steps to shut him up like the building owner did. They're going to handle it themselves. And the state of California understands this, so they have determined that it's easier and more beneficial for them to leave Ricky on the outside harassing the taxpayers because the taxpayers will react in nonviolent ways. But if you put him in prison, that'll be the end of Ricky. They're allowing us to suffer because they choose to. They think we can put up with it, and in prison, they won't put up with it. And because of that, we're the ones who get Ricky. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Anything looking good in the mailbag, Randy?
Will writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com on the subject of Ricky. I don't think the reporter needs to be apologetic for waking Ricky. The meth keeps him up for about 2 weeks at a time.
And if you'd like to continue listening to us after we sign off at 3, that's easy to do.
Go to KABC.com, click on podcast, go to KSFO.com, click on podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes or do a Google on the YouTube.
Do a Google on YouTube.
If you want to weigh in on any of the subjects that we've talked about today, give us a call at 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
We're getting a lot of suggestions on to what to do about the Ricky problem in San Francisco. Rick writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. I say we put Ricky's box on my porch with an Amazon sticker on it. No more Ricky. And the thieves will have a new friend.
800-222-5222 if you want to weigh in on any of the topics that we've discussed on today's program. 800-222-5222. Let's go to Jeff in Marina Del Rey. Jeff, hello.
Hello, John. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Listen to your show all the time.
Well, thank you.
You can hear me. My car.
Go ahead.
So this morning I was in a community meeting with our local CHP. We have a big homeless problem along the 90 freeway, which leads right into the marina, and we've probably got like 60, 70 people living down there, and they're causing all kinds of mayhem, and we've reached out to every resource we can. We've tried everything. We just can't seem to get any support. So we ended up having this meeting with CHP because they patrol the 90. And so the end result was they said, well, you should wait until next year's election and try to get some officials in place that will put some laws in place so that the police can do their job. And that was pretty much what I took away from the meeting today.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get politicians to be responsive when it's an election year. If it's a non-election year, they can just ignore you. And if they're termed out of office, they're a lame duck, or they're retiring from politics, they just don't care. I mean, look at what these people are going through trying to get the California Department of Insurance to do anything, where you have an insurance commissioner who's termed out. He's not running for higher office, and he's not responding to anyone's phone calls, and he doesn't have to. And everyone understands this. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, it is. It is reality. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what we have. These people that roam through the neighborhood. They steal things. They defecate, urinate in the creek. There's garbage and trash. I mean, everyone's seeing homeless encampments everywhere. But the fact that they just basically throw their hands up, and I said, well, can't we declare this some type of a health and a safety hazard, and we can do some kind of an emergency thing where we at least get them, put somewhere where they're in a containment, where they have sanitation and they have some type of social services available, because as it is right now, it's just like reservoir dogs down there, and it's just really bad and just very frustrating. So when I heard the story about Ricky, I thought I'd call in and give my 2 cents on this.
The sad part is I think Ricky is not an isolated incident. There are Rickies all over the state of California where people who are paying a fortune to live here, and they're doing everything they're supposed to do. They're going through the chain of command. They are calling their council person. They are calling the police. They're calling social services. And everyone just throws their hands up and goes, well, there's nothing we can do. Well, there is something you can do. You choose not to do something about it. But if you wanted to do something about it, you could. And part of the problem in California, when all of our local officials run on national subjects, the local issues, which they actually have influence over, get ignored. They don't have any interest in it. They don't have any ideas about what to do about the problems. And because of that, everything just slips through the cracks, and they say, yeah, well, we hate Donald Trump, so give us more money and vote for us again. And for the majority in the state, that's good enough. Well, it results in awful local government when you do that, because the people who sit in these offices have no interest in doing the job. They have no intellectual curiosity about it, and they just try to change the subject whenever you call them out on their failures. And if you want to go to the top of the totem pole, Gavin Newsom is the chief example of this. He has failed on just about every subject across the board, and whenever he's asked about it, he gets testy and changes the subject and talks about Donald Trump. Well, fine. Donald Trump's the president. He has control of the federal government, but I live here. So I want to make sure that this state is fully operational and that I get my money's worth for what I pay a fortune for in taxes, and we have a good quality of life, and we have clean streets, and we have usable public resources, but they just don't seem to have any interest in that. And because of that, the people who live in the state of California are the ones who suffer. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Bill in Orinda. Bill, hello.
Orinda,
excuse me.
Hey, John, how are you today?
Good.
I was just calling about the homeowner's insurance. My wife and I do not have a mortgage, and we do have homeowner's insurance, but if it were to get canceled, we would go without. My only problem is I couldn't tell her.
Well, lies are what keep marriages together.
Yeah. Well, 57 years we've been doing something. But I absolutely, under no circumstances, would go to the FAIR plan.
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather not have insurance than pay through the nose for something that's not going to pay me out if something bad happens anyway.
Yeah, well, we saw this happen with the California Earthquake Authority. We used to all have earthquake insurance, and then that thing was created. So now virtually nobody has earthquake insurance unless their house is ready to fall into the ocean. So at any rate, we would survive without it. Where we are, property values are so high, I'm talking about the land, that if our house burns down, the land would be of really good value that we could do something.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat because you're right. So many people I know who have sold their homes sold them as teardowns, where the home was immediately taken down the minute the buyer closed escrow, and then they put up some monstrosity to replace the home that used to be there. Well, if that's the case, what's the point of buying insurance if you're fully prepared to cash in and walk away if something bad happens?
There you go. So anyhow, that's how I see it. I'm not doing the FAIR plan.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's go to Tyson in Oceanside. Tyson, hello.
Hi, greetings, gentlemen. I'm got a little stage fright here for a second. It's been on a while. I called in for the homeowners insurance topic earlier, and the last caller, the caller before the commercial break, talking about doubling up on his payments and not going with insurance when he has the opportunity to. It's just the reality of like the survival situation now for anyone who's trying to live here in California. And it seems like the homeless situation, all these things are like little added designed to kind of almost just push everyone out. And the way we have a good insurance plan, and we're in the middle of a claim right now that started 2 years ago. And they'll dance around everything that they, promote they're going to cover and help with. And we made it real. We were very tactful and careful and cautious about following very precise instructions when we were, following up on our claim and how to take care of the situation. It was a small flood from a rain.
All right. I think we get the point. You are cutting out here. Your cell phone reception is not the greatest, but thank you so much for the call. I hope everything works out with your claim. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. If you want to weigh in on any and all of the topics that we've covered so far on today's program. Let's go to Joe in Santa Monica. Joe, hello.
Gosh, I wish you could have gotten me when I was angry. Now I'm all mellowed out. If I was a billionaire, I'm glad I made you laugh because you make me laugh all the time. If I was a billionaire, I would put billboards all over the town saying, "Listen to this show, Fix California Hour." People just need to wake up. You remember Dr. Drew?
Oh yeah.
He was in this spot, and he talked about people that were on the streets that got the help they needed, that they got mental health, they got off their drugs, and when they got sane and sober, they'd look up and they'd say, "How come it took so long for you to get me off of the street?" It makes me want to cry because I've lived here all my life like you, and I'm not leaving. I'm here for the fight. But there is a solution to this, and as you guys know, the people in power now don't want it. The solution's so obvious. You go up to a person, and correct me if I'm wrong, do you want to be on the street here? do you need, if he's mentally ill, you got to take him off and find a place for him to go. And I don't know if we have those facilities or not. And if they want to stay on the street, it's against the law. You have to put them in jail. And if they need help and they're really sane, you got to help them. But those are the solutions. I can't think of anything else. And it's so obvious. And like you talked about a couple of minutes ago, the people that had called in, they just, you need to get people in power that are going to do what's sensible and common sense. And I give it back to you, Randy and John. You guys have the best radio show that I've ever heard. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for all the kind compliments. And it just goes back to what I said before. We're hiring people who have no interest in local government to run our state and local government. They're interested in abortion. They're interested in hating Donald Trump. They're interested in Ukraine. Well, okay, if you vote for someone to serve on the city council, you want them to make sure you can use the sidewalks. And none of them are interested in that. It's like if you're opening up a grocery store and you go hire a vegan to be the butcher. What's the point? But that's what we've done. Let's go to Barbara in San Francisco. Barbara, hello.
Hi, John. This is Barbara. I'm an ex-insurance broker. I retired. But I hear the people saying that they don't want to, buy insurance if their home is already paid up. And here's some tips about it. I know where Orinda is. They have huge lot, a lot of land associated with their home. So this is the tip if they don't want to do this. They should try and clean up their area, make sure there's not any brush because that's a high risk area with a lot of, a lot of vegetation around. Put fire retardant roofs, replace the roofs with fire retardant material. And if they want to have no insurance anymore, they should try and retain their liability insurance because part of your insurance policy, your homeowner's insurance policy, is liability. And it may be possible for them to just buy the liability insurance. It's called a standalone. And they can get that through a broker. But before I, do anything, go ahead and discuss this with a broker. And I know you don't want to lose your liability insurance. What if your Uncle Joe or something falls down the stairs or something and wants to sue you? You know what it's for. So that's my comments. And if you want to comment about that, go ahead.
Well, it sounds like good advice to me. I personally would prefer to have an insurance policy. And thankfully, mine hasn't been priced out of my ability to pay the premiums. But for a lot of these people, that has been the case.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's something to think about. You want to try you would want to try and retain your liability insurance.
Oh yeah. Look, if I can buy insurance,
you can buy. It's called a standalone, and it may still be available, but you have to go through a broker.
Okay.
Because and discuss this with your insurance broker, or your agent.
All right. Thank you very much. Like a good neighbor. Let's go to George in Northridge. George, hello.
Nah, George is gone.
Okay. Let's go to Bill in Simi Valley.
Hi, John. Hey,
Hi there.
I got a question for the LAPD. This morning I was watching the helicopters were flying over that homeless encampment, and they were moving people out. And there were several people that had those large dolly that you see at Home Depot where you put your lumber and everything on and you wheel it out. They had two of those full of their junk, and they're wheeling it out and down the street, and nobody says boo to them. What happened to theft? What do you think it costs Home Depot in these places for one of those dollies? And these guys take them like they're shopping carts at Ralph's.
Well, you're technically not supposed to steal those, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, good luck. As soon as you become homeless, that's the first thing they give you. They give you a shopping cart and directions on the nearest encampment. So,
yeah, I don't know when that became a thing, but for the homeless, shopping carts at the grocery store and dollies at Home Depot are like the bar of soap in a hotel. You can just take it if you want. You're not supposed to take those, but that's what they do. And now, of course, I don't know if you've seen this before, Randy, but they have some kind of chip inside the shopping cart, and if you try to take it to one of the remote parts of the parking lot, the wheels just lock up.
Oh, yeah. And then sometimes they don't unlock when you go back into the store.
Oh, yeah. You know who else does that?
Who's that?
Golf carts, if you drive off the cart path onto the grass. If that happens, then you have to go in reverse for a real long time. And I've got to tell you, I'm not a very good driver going forward. I'm an even worse driver going in reverse. Still haven't ended up in a sand trap yet, though. God willing. It's the John Phillips Show. That's going to do it for us today, but we'll be back tomorrow at noon.